In the serene foothills of the Himalayas, where the world was untouched by greed and strife, lived a family bound by the purest form of love. An ascetic and his wife, both blind, had retreated from the world to practice meditation. The heavens, seeing their virtue, blessed them with a son, a bodhisattva, a future Buddha, born to be their guide. They named him Sāma. From his first steps, Sāma's heart knew only one language, loving kindness, or Metta. He was the eyes for his blind parents, their hands, their gentle support. He guided them to the best foraging spots, built their leaf hut with care, and fetched cool water from the river Miraculous. His kindness was so profound that it radiated outwards, touching all living things. Wild deer would walk beside him without fear. Lions and tigers would soften their gaze in his presence. The forest itself seemed to recognize his purity, and all creatures lived in harmony around him. Their life was a living meditation, a perfect picture of selfless devotion. But one day, this perfect harmony was unknowingly threatened. Piliyaka, the king of Benares, a great lover of the hunt, followed a swift-footed deer deep into the forest, deeper than he had ever gone before. For days he tracked his prey, until he too arrived at the banks of the river Miraculous. There, hiding in a thicket, he saw an astonishing sight. A being, unlike any he had ever seen, was drawing water surrounded by a great herd of deer. This being was Sāma. The king, seeing this strange harmony between man and beast, was filled with suspicion and fear. Is this a man or a naga, a spirit of the water? He wondered. If I approach him, will he grant me wishes, or will his spirit kin harm me? Perhaps I should strike him first and then ask. And in that moment of fear and ignorance, the king made a fateful decision. He drew his bow, tipped his arrow with poison, and fired. The arrow flew true, piercing Sāma's side. The deer, startled, scattered in terror. Sāma, with a gasp of pain, fell to the sandy riverbank, the water pitcher rolling from his grasp. He did not cry out in anger. He did not curse his attacker. His first words, whispered in pain, were soft and full of concern. Who could have shot me? I hold no enmity towards anyone in this vast forest. Who could wish me harm? The king emerged from the thicket, his initial fear now replaced by dawning horror, as he saw he had shot not a spirit, but a young man. He rushed to Sāma's side. Sāma, seeing the king's royal attire, spoke gently, the poison slowly coursing through his veins. Great king, he said, why did you shoot me? My flesh is not food. My skin is of no value, but my death. My death leaves two souls helpless in this forest. He then told the king of his blind parents, completely dependent on his care. The pain of this arrow is nothing, Sāma whispered, compared to the pain of my heart, thinking of my mother and father, alone, without food or water. Who will care for my parents now? Overcome with immense guilt and remorse, the king fell to his knees. He vowed to Sāma that he would renounce his throne, stay in the forest, and care for the blind parents as if he were their own son. Hearing this promise, Sāma's mind found peace, and with a final, loving thought for his parents, he closed his eyes. Their grief was immense, a sorrow so profound it echoed through the trees. The king led them to their son's body. They laid their hands upon his silent mouth and heart, weeping not with anger, but with pure, heartbreaking love. Their lament was heard. A goddess who had protected Sāma's family for years could not bear their suffering. She descended from the heavens and spoke to them. Your sorrow is true, she said. The king's remorse is sincere, and Sāma's loving kindness throughout his entire life has been perfect and without stain. Such powerful goodness cannot simply end in tragedy. Through the power of Sāma's lifelong metta, the truthfulness of his parents' love, and the goddess's divine intervention, a miracle unfolded. The poison vanished from Sāma's body. His wound healed, color returned to his cheeks, and with a gentle breath, his eyes opened. And as he stood, another miracle occurred. The tears of sorrow that had blinded his parents for years washed away, and their sight was restored. Reunited, the family rejoiced. Sāma, now filled with even greater wisdom, gave a sermon to the king on the importance of righteous rule and the boundless power of loving kindness. The king returned to his kingdom, no longer a hunter of beasts, but a protector of all life. And that devoted son, Sāma, was none other than the Buddha in one of his past lives. His story teaches us a timeless truth, that a heart filled with pure, selfless love and compassion holds a power that can overcome the greatest of tragedies, a power that can heal, restore, and shake the very heavens.